Stay alert. Mixmaster is close.
How close? This close!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out the Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Mixmaster. Based on the original 1986 animated movie, this Constructicon is one of the final components to form the mighty Devastator, which is actually now shaping up to be a pretty decent looking combiner after originally not seeming too impressive. Firstly, there was Scrapper, a Voyager Price Deluxe, then Bone Crusher, which unfortunately had the proportions of a core class. But I've got to say, after recently reviewing the Commander Class 2-pack and seeing official images of Scavenger, I actually began to have high hopes for how this guy would turn out. So, as we whack up an image of how he appeared in the original G1 cartoon, visually he is not only looking to be incredibly close, but also one of the better looking Constructicon updates to come from the line. The head sculpt and entire upper chest look fantastic, although I do think they missed a slight trick in not making the cannons up top blast effect compatible. Proportionally, he is also a marked improvement, with the legs in particular being leagues above the design of the Combiner Wars version. And as we spin him around to the back, and again compare him to his look on the show, honestly I think they did a pretty decent job in cleaning this guy up. With the previous Mixmaster, the cement mixer just hangs way too low, and if anything kinda looks more like the abdomen of a wasp. But with this release, it's far closer to the look in the cartoon, and can even be completely removed to create for a much cleaner look. Another pretty big improvement this guy has, even over Scrapper, would be how solid he feels. Seeing as he doesn't include any accessories for the combine mode, it's really allowed the design team to make the most of that Voyager price point. And again, really makes me wish that they had just released Devastator's blaster alongside Longhaul and Hook, as unfortunately Scrapper just seems to be now lacking even more in comparison. With that being said though, as a team they do look great stacked up against each other, with Mixmaster maybe just being the best looking out of the bunch. Firing through the Articulation, despite visually being a major improvement, unfortunately this is still an area where he's not really that much different in comparison to what we did see previously. So to begin with, the head is on a ball joint, although unfortunately due to the design is honestly kinda difficult to actually make use of. The shoulders can kick forwards, backwards and out to the side. The biceps can spin, with the elbows being able to bend to 90, although unfortunately this guy's still lacking both wrist and waist articulation. The hips though can kick forwards, backwards and completely out to the side. The thighs can rotate, with the knees being able to bend to 90. Then finally, the ankles can rock inwards. But to really see what devastation this guy can cause, let's now put him through the pose test. Firing through some robot mode comparisons, up first is the Combiner Wars version of Mixmaster, and I think I can safely say that when it comes down to animation accuracy, the brand new Studio Series version is most definitely an upgrade in almost every single way. The Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Voyager class Scrapper, Commander class Longhaul, Constructicon Hook, Deluxe class Bone Crusher, Devastation Optimus Prime, then finally 86 movie Bumblebee. Commencing Transformation Phase 1, despite this being incredibly straightforward, trust me when I say that the improvements just continue. So for the first step, spin to the side, as we are now going to pop open this panel to slide out this section. With that complete, we can now snap this back into place, then take the chest plate and hinge it up, with the shins folding out to the sides. And again, be sure to do the same for the second leg. At this point, we can now take both halves and combine them directly down the middle, as what you'll now want to do is bend the knees forwards, then the hips backwards, then finally forwards once more. Take the shoulders and shift them up so that the biceps and forearms can snap in. With that complete, we can now take the chest plate and snap this into place, with these heel spurs following closely behind. Then finally take the second set and do exactly the same, and that is the transformation now fully complete. Devastating his way through the battlefield of devastation, here is Mixmaster now fully transformed into his truck mode. And as we whack up an image of how he appeared in the cartoon, yet again he's looking to decimate the Combiner Wars version. Front, side to back, he is an incredibly faithful recreation of his animated counterpart and looks solid from nearly every angle. With the previous version, it was honestly near impossible to make out what design they were going for, just as the front looked completely different in comparison to what was actually seen on the show. There is even weapon storage up top, which is a pretty neat throwback to the episode Heavy Metal War, where the Constructicons can be seen tunneling beneath the Autobot headquarters. All 6 of his wheels are even fully pinned into place, giving him the ability to ram his way through his enemies. Racing through some vehicle mode comparisons, up first is again the Combiner Wars version of Mixmaster, the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Voyager class Scrapper, Commander class Long Haul, Constructicon Hook, Deluxe class Bone Crusher, Devastation Optimus Prime, then finally 86 movie Bumblebee. Commencing Transformation Phase 2, when going into the Combine mode, much like the previous Constructicons, I find it much easier if you start off with Mixmaster in his vehicle mode. So firstly, detach the forearms and slide them forward, loosen the front part of the truck up by sliding it back, with these panels hinging up top. With that complete, we can now snap this back into place, take these heel spurs and click them back, to allow the second set to slide back up, so that we can then take the top set and lock them into place. You'll now take the cement drum and pop this open, then take the hips of Devastator and slide them inside, so that finally we can slide this section back into place, and that is the transformation now fully complete.
Prepare for extermination.
Here is Devastator now partially transformed into his Combine mode, and despite the issues of the individual Constructicons, he's looking fantastic. As we whack up an image of how he first appeared in the G1 cartoon, from the front I think they nailed it, and easily one of the biggest improvements this version has over the Combiner Wars is how solid he feels. Each and every component of Devastator is locked in, and because this guy is mainly made up of Voyager price figures, the plastic and joints feel dense, and even as we spin him around to the back, despite it maybe not being his best looking angle, and don't worry, we're going to discuss this in way more detail in his actual review, everything is tapped in. And I really do think that is this Devastator's main selling point. He is not only much more manageable, but also a lot more enjoyable to mess with in comparison to the Titan class version. The head can spin side to side, the shoulders can kick forwards, backwards, and out to the side, the bicep can spin, with the elbows able to bend, the hands can rotate, and the fingers can open and close. The waist can spin, with the hips able to click forwards, backwards, and completely out to the side. The thighs can rotate, with the knees able to bend to 90. Then finally, the ankles can hinge inwards. And as we fly through some comparisons, first up is the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Megatron, King of the Dinobots Grimlock, Deluxe Devastation Optimus Prime, who I think is a great companion piece, especially if you prefer Devastator towering over the Autobots. Then finally, Bumblebee. So, wrapping up on this review for the Transformers Studio Series Voyager class Mixmaster. To be completely honest, I think we may just be looking at the best Constructicon update to so far come from the line. He looks fantastic in both robot and vehicle mode, and is such a huge improvement in comparison to what we did see from Combiner Wars. Unlike Scrapper, he actually feels like a proper Voyager, with the plastic and design deserving of that price point. Even the Combine mode is incredibly promising, forming a component that visually looks near identical to how Devastator appeared in the original G1 cartoon. So despite the slightly rocky start that the Constructicons had with both Scrapper and Bone Crusher, they seem to have finally found their footing, and if images of the upcoming Scavenger are anything to go by, then these guys might just end up winning the Battle of the Combiners. But I would love to know what you guys think of Mixmaster. Be sure to sound off below and let me know. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Transform and roll out!